Most of us already knew it, because we're smart, right? But now it is official. Skull and Bones has failed on every level possible. In fact, it's so bad, people are mistaking it to be a Bethesda game.
So let's talk about Skull and Bones. On one hand, you've got Hellriders 2, which is completely thriving as a live service. And on the other hand, you have Skull and Bones, which so far it's looking like it's gonna flop. And unless...
I have been saying this for how long? I have been saying this for years, okay? It doesn't matter if your game is 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, or potentially maybe even $100, honestly. It doesn't matter if it has a battle pass, it's always online, it's this and that. It has 5 de novo anti-cheats in it, okay? If you make a good game, people will play it 100%, okay? And if you make a bad game, people are not gonna play it, it's that simple. Helldivers 2 is a game that has microtransactions added into it. But primarily it's a game. Skull and Bones is microtransactions that have you know, small specks of a game added around them, okay? That's a huge difference. Skull and Bones was never meant to be anything but microtransactions to begin with. It is what it is, okay? Obviously, Skull and Bones cannot see any success. Think about it. Skull and Bones is the child of, you know, the 75th iteration of Assassin's Creed being remade that has just one random mechanic added to it, turned into a game. That's not good enough.
Unless there's a major turnaround in the long term down the line, it doesn't seem like this is going to be a long-lasting live service. Its lifespan post-launch will be likely, from my opinion, based on what we're seeing so far,
a month.
A fraction of what it took to actually make this game. Keep in mind that this game started development all the way back in 2013, so we're talking about an 11-year-long development cycle. This is a game that likely would have been canceled if it wasn't for the fact that the Singaporean government demanded that it release because of a deal that Ubisoft made with the Singaporean government that essentially forced this game to be made.
That's, by the way, the funniest thing ever. The legitimate government of Singapore has investment in this game for some reason. It's hilarious.
And the end result was a development cycle that saw tons of delays, tons of reboots, and a lot of creative heads just shifting, new creative directors. Like not that long ago, a third creative director came in to help complete the game, and it is finally out, but it is not the quadruple A title that Ubisoft CEO claimed Skull and Bones to be.
Who cares? It's officially our first quadruple A game. That's all that matters at the end of the day.
He used that as a justification for the $70 price point that is currently hurting sales for the game, because a lot of people are realizing that Skull and Bones is nowhere close to being justified with an extra A, being something that is a greater experience than all of the huge, large-scale, jam-packed AAA games that we've seen released throughout the course.
To be honest, have you ever heard anyone even mention AAA or double A or single A, or I think single A is counted indie, I'm not sure, as an actual talking point amongst normal people? I'm pretty sure the term AAA, quadruple A, double A is only used in YouTube videos when we're kind of shitting on big gaming companies that have absolutely no soul and, you know, just want money and don't make actually good products.
Of the last few months and years, and that will release in the coming months and years. The term quadruple A is just complete marketing bullshit that has no real meaning whatsoever. And we can see right here that Skull and Bones launched to tepid reviews, a 63% from 27 critic reviews. Not a lot of critics are even checking this game out. The ones who have are giving it middling scores. The user reviews you can see right here are not particularly favorable, and the fact that they're...
Why even mention the critic reviews? The user score is the only thing that matters.
only 137 user ratings on this platform says a lot about the level of engagement as far as this game is concerned. On OpenCritic, it's even more brutal. The top critic average is 60%, but the number of critics who would actually recommend this game, a mere 13%. So that's not a great sign, especially at $70. The game is $60 on the Epic Games Store on PC, but
You know what's actually amazing about Skull and Bones?
if you go to the
It is the fact that you could play this game before it launched in the open beta or whatever it was for free. Usually when games are this visibly bad, well, maybe Ubisoft actually thinks this was supposed to be a success. Who knows? Ubisoft is a literal shit tier company at the end of the day. You know, maybe they thought that this is going to be a banger. I'm not joking. They let people play this for free. Typically with games this crazily visibly bad, you know, a pirate game without boarding, and a pirate game without actual treasure to find. You can't loot treasure, I'm pretty sure. And menus show you 3 times what you have looted. Once when you open the menu to loot a ship, then in the middle, and then in the side. Dude, this is a certified Ubisoft quality game. And also the fact that roughly 50% of your crew is females that load cannons and, you know, are up there in the, crow's nest, and, you know, are constantly being thrown around and have the physical strength to be there. Yeah, sus. I mean, just from the standpoint of hygiene, females are just gonna die in this age, out at sea, in these kind of conditions, without question. So why would you even hire them? There's a reason why there have not been a lot of women who are pirates. How many there were? There's not even 5, I think, right? And the most successful was, was she a Chinese one or a Japanese one? She was some kind of Eastern one. It doesn't make a lot of sense for China to have pirates, right? But it is what it is, you know? And she was a brothel worker who created a fleet. It's a hilarious story. But in any case, yeah. I mean, Ubisoft quality right there, boys.
for the PlayStation Store, you can see right now that it is $70. It does come with a free trial, which likely contributes to some of the player base that we're seeing right now. But whether players will stick with the experience and feel compelled to buy the full game, that's a whole other story. It also doesn't help matters that Skull and Bones, for some reason, they decided to make an Epic Games exclusive alongside
4.2 out of 5. Great boss battles. Bro.
Also obviously selling it on the Ubisoft launcher. I don't know why you would limit the user base of your game when its marketing was so rough and when every indication says that this game is just, it could use every help it can get, and releasing the game on Steam would have likely helped boost numbers. But right now it is an Epic Games exclusive on PC, likely timed exclusive. And then further indication that the game is flopping is the fact that the game in the UK launched at number 4 when it comes to boxed sales, which is a quarter of Sea of Thieves launch. Now, it is true that digital has become more prominent since Sea of Thieves launched back in 2018, but I don't know if so much so that it completely accounts for the fact.
Wait. Did we just see a Ubisoft chill in the comments? Back. Helldivers 2 is still number 5 in the UK box charts. Unusually, sales are up to 28% in its second week. Okay, that's stupid. Bruh, who cares about box sales in the current day, okay? Are you gonna be one of those people who complains about, oh, digital copies, yeah. We've been living in this world for 15 years, if you haven't noticed. I think it's a little bit too late to notice that you don't actually own a single game that you have bought. Shut up, okay? And if you think you actually, by the way, own things that you buy on hard copy discs nowadays, you don't. Most of those games have ways to actually ban you and make the game unplayable if they want to. Yeah, unironically, it's crazy. So, yeah. Hot boxes sold. Who gives a shit? Who actually cares?
2018, but I don't know if so much so that it completely accounts for the fact that Skull and Bones only sold a quarter of Sea of Thieves. And speaking of Sea of Thieves, you know, the main criticism surrounding...
I mean, bro, I did not hesitate to just instantaneously yeet and delete my Diablo 2 copy, Diablo 2 Lord of Destruction copy, World of Warcraft Classic, and Burning Crusade, when it was possible to actually input your CD keys into Battle.net and you no longer needed the original discs. I yeeted them out in literally 2 years. Not seconds, I'm lying. 2 years. And because they were just gathering dust. Like, okay, I don't care.
Skull and Bones is that it ultimately doesn't do anything that other games of this kind don't do better. Sea of Thieves is a more compelling experience because you're not controlling the ship directly, you're the crew that controls the ship, and so that makes the ship and sailing experience more fun because you got multiple people, a crew, who have to work together to navigate the ship and to handle all of its different components, and so you're working together to coordinate. Whereas in Skull and Bones, there's no like boots on the ground gameplay, it's all just ship navigation gameplay where buttons allow you to perform certain functions.
I don't think that matters. I don't think that matters at all. If Skull and Bones just had, you know, basically good mechanics and interesting gameplay and was better, it wouldn't matter, okay? Skull and Bones actually does one thing good, okay? I haven't talked about this before, but I think Skull and Bones does one thing good, and only one thing. And I'm not sure if this is an accident or not, but you can see the crew do things. Well, maybe it's a woman loading, but, you know, 15 consecutive, you know, cannonballs in a cannon, which is unrealistic as I have boys. But, you know, you can see the crew do things, and it feels pretty lively, and that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool, and that's kind of good, okay? That's the only thing Skull and Bones does right, and I don't even think that's actually intended. I think that's just some kind of other idea byproduct.
Functions of the ship, but you yourself aren't performing those functions, so it's a less immersive, like pirate-like experience, if you will. Sea of Thieves is better on that front because you've got both the much more involved naval gameplay combined with the boots-on-the-ground gameplay where you get to go to islands and you get to like solve mysteries and puzzles or interact with other players and, you know, find respite. It just feels like a much more feature-complete pirate simulator or pirate game experience. And what's funny is that Ubisoft itself has already made a better pirate game than Skull and Bones in the form of, you guessed it, Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, which has the naval combat and the boots on the ground stuff on top of a full-fledged assassination campaign. So it's like you're almost better off just playing Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. Skull and Bones just doesn't push the boundary.
Hey, that's what they've been saying, but remember, that game is like, what, 10 years old at this point or something? Yeah, or older maybe? I don't even know. Yeah, okay. Good luck. Good luck hoping that Ubisoft ever makes something like that in the modern day, okay?
Enough as a naval combat game and as a game that tries to make you feel like a pirate. Like mechanically it functions and there's fun to be had here and there, but it just doesn't stand out from the pack and other games that just nail this kind of experience far better, which is why it's failed to garner much attention, why it's got tepid reviews, why UK sales seem rather meager. And then to top it all off, here,
why does anyone even care about the UK sales? Also, what do they do when someone buys the game, goes out of the store, gets stabbed, and their copy is stolen? Does that count as 2 sales, 1 sale, or -1 sale? That's what I want to know about the UK sales.
Here we have a report from Tom Henderson at InsiderGaming.com, who has relayed, based on information obtained from sources, that the game's total player base is not looking particularly great, especially for a live service. So speaking to sources, the game is currently sitting at around 850,000 players total at the time of writing, which includes those who have opted to play the game with the 8-hour free trial provided by Ubisoft. Less than 1 million in sales is not a great performance at all for a long-term live service, especially when much of that is likely people checking out the free trial, so they haven't paid any money at all to play this game, and Ubisoft is banking on the free trial, convincing people to spend money, $70 on this game to get the full experience. Whether
I don't think they're convincing anyone at this point.
that will end up happening, only time will tell. While players do seem fairly engaged with the average player playing between 3 and 4 hours a day, do keep in mind that that is in large part because the game has a free trial, but whether or not that will change once the free trial expires or if it will convert players into full purchases remains to be seen. I personally don't get the sense that this...
Wait, what do you mean it will convert free trial to purchases? Is Ubisoft gonna just ask money from you because you didn't buy anything? Is that the new play? I mean, I would not be surprised. Diablo 4 Blizzard did that. They made you know when you usually click on a battle pass and you don't own it? It gives you an option to buy it or whatever. Remember when the battle pass came for Diablo 4 and it was a one-click purchase thing? You literally click on the battle pass and it instantaneously activates it if you have the free activation, and it instantaneously buys it if you have credit. Good times, good times.
This game has long legs, especially when Helldivers 2 happened to release right alongside it and completely stole the thunder away from Skull and Bones. Helldivers 2 right now is exploding. It's still having trouble keeping up with just the influx of players that is coming in and checking out this game. The game...
Dude, Helldivers 2 doesn't have enough server space. Last Epoch had a problem with that. Dude, that's crazy.
That's dominating live service conversation right now is Helldivers 2 and how freaking fun it is to play. And I mean, not even just on the internet, just out in the wild. Like, I'm talking to friends and people who I know are gamers, and they're just like, hey, are you playing Helldivers 2? Let's play together. Like, even, you know, in the real world, I'm seeing the buzz of Helldivers 2 rapidly spread. No such thing for Skull and Bones. Not a single person I've met has even mentioned that game. And one of the major factors that's being attributed to the current low player numbers is the fact that this is a fully priced $60 to $70 game, which apparently has not only been criticized publicly, especially after Yves Guillemot came out with a bullshit statement that Skull and Bones is a quadruple A game, but also internally, developers knew that this game should not be sold at $70. One of Insider Game...
Dude, everyone at Ubisoft always knows that their game should not be even made in the first place.
Sources straight up said that I think we all know this is a $30 to $40 game at best, but it's not in our control to determine those things. It most certainly is not.
How about just making a better game? They had all the chances, okay? Hey, if your game director changes like 4 times or something like that during the creation of this game, bro, you as a developer can add literally anything to this game and no one will even fucking know. And it's gonna make it to the live version of the game.
A quadruple A game, especially when the developers actually making the game are like, yeah, this is not even worth $70. It should be $30 to $40. And keep in mind that Helldivers 2 was $40 and offers a far more fleshed out, far more compelling, far more fun experience than the $70 Skull and Bones, which is a big part of why Helldivers 2 stole the thunder. Aside from it being just a high quality, really fun game, the pricing...
I don't think anyone even is talking about, oh, Helldivers completely pound fucking your Skull and Bones into the ground. No one's even talking about that as much as I know. Like, the only people who are talking about Skull and Bones at this point is people like Young who just want a quick payday, and people like me who love to shit on bad things. So there you go. Wow.
It's just so affordable and so accessible. And yeah, I mean, at this rate, the game is not expected to make its money back. Apparently, it costs around $200 million to make this game during its decade-long development, a sum that the company doesn't expect to make back, especially with the current slow sales. None of this is at all surprising based on the reception that the game was getting during marketing, during previews, and just the general vibe of how people were feeling about this game. There was the general sense that this game was not going to be particularly phenomenal, and there was a sense...
No, that is incorrect. There was literally no hopes for this game pretty much as early as, well, people got information about it. People from the very first times that we got information about this game have been pretty much on mass. Oh, this sounds horrible. This is gonna be a disaster. So no one even had any blind faith to put into this game not being horrible. Everyone knew it's gonna be an absolute bonanza of shit show in this. Oh, that's Helldivers 2 chat. I don't care about that. Anyway, I think that's it from Yongi. Yeah, because we're almost at the 66% mark where he just reiterates things he has already said because money.
I'll see you guys next time.
Young out. Wow.
Young out.
Yeah, young out. Anyway, this is Quizzer Sensei. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you already have a nice day. Bye bye.